How you guys doing today? Ready to see some killer whales up close? All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your curiosity is wonderful. Just like you, it was my curiosity about nature that led me to working right here at SeaWorld. We receive so many questions about killer whales each and every day, from kids and grown-ups of all ages. So we've gathered these questions together and put them in our Killer Whales Up Close book to share with you today. We've connected the book so you can see everything up on the big screen. So if you're ready to get started, it is my privilege to introduce you to Liz.
Hi everybody, how are you doing today? Are you guys excited to meet our family of killer whales? You know, our first killer whale coming out of our back pool, she is the oldest killer whale who lives here. She is actually 51 years old. Here's Corky. And one more time, over to our right-hand side. And in the center, give it up for Corky. The next whale coming out of our back pool is her best friend. He is 13 years old. Here's Ikaika. He is one of our most gentle killer whales that lives here. His name is Pete. Now if you focus your attention to the center of the pool, Corky and Ikaika are going to be doing a behavior together. Now here at SeaWorld San Diego, we are home to 11 killer whales. There are 5 males and 6 females. They range in age from our oldest member of the killer whale family here, Corky, and the youngest is Amaya, who is only 10 months old.
You can see how different each whale is, but did you know there could be even bigger differences in the wild? Would you be surprised if I told you there are different kinds of killer whales? Scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in different habitats, have different body types, and even pursue different kinds of food. So even though killer whale ecotypes are all different, they're all considered members of one species, or Sinus orca. One of the questions we get asked all the time is, how big does a killer whale grow to be? Well, the answer would depend on what ecotype you're talking about. Is it a 16-foot female in Iceland or a 30-foot male in Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
The remarkable thing about killer whales, no matter which type, is that they are found throughout our global ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corky and Ikaika. So let's get to some of your great questions. Oh, perfect. So many people wonder about our trainers. In fact, raise your hand if you've ever wanted to be an animal trainer. Wow, that's a lot. Then you should meet the dedicated team of trainers who interact with our family of whales every day.
Hi everyone, again my name is Liz. To my right I have Vicky, she's working with Ikaika. Andre is working with Corky, and Autumn is working with Pete.
Our trainers are so passionate about what they do every day. That makes me think of another one of your great questions. Here it is. Do the trainers talk to the whales? I'll let you answer that one, Liz.
That is a great question. We may not talk to the whales the way you and I talk to each other, but we've taught the whales different signals to help us communicate with them. Our ongoing communication is an important part of developing the strong relationships that we have with these whales. Because of this connection, one of the things that we're able to do is answer important questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this. So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild. Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
And that's what I call work together. Research flowing in both directions, from our park to the wild and back again. That way, everyone benefits. All right, let's check out another question. Perfect. This individual wonders why whales jump, and I just happen to have that emoji. Check it out. You know, killer whales communicate a lot of different ways. Sometimes they vocalize, and sometimes they use their bodies. A jump like that's called a breach. They're making a sound on the top of the water. When the whale's body slaps the top of the water, it creates a commotion above and below the surface. This might be to show some excitement, display a little power, or to get the attention of the other whales. So some of you may have heard about Kalia's new calf, Amaya. Our SeaWorld social media fans helped come up with her name. Here at SeaWorld, we've watched our killer whale calves rely on their mothers for everything, from the very first moments of their birth.
As a calf grows and gains some independence, it is looked after by other whales in the pod too. They help the mother protect the calf, teach it survival skills, and show the calf how to romp and play. Killer whales live in family-like groups known as pods. Like human families, their pods can range in size from just a handful of whales up to a few dozen.
And that brings us to a really important question. Does having a killer whale breeding program at SeaWorld help whales in the wild? Absolutely. Our successful killer whale breeding program allows us to better understand the developmental needs of pregnant mothers, newborn calves, and young killer whales. This is critical information because this is at a time when killer whales are most vulnerable in the wild. Gaining this kind of knowledge is only possible through the research that we've been able to do here at SeaWorld.
Recently, SeaWorld worked with researchers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, to help them develop a model for identifying when a killer whale is pregnant by looking at aerial images of the animal in the wild. Prior to this cooperative effort, where SeaWorld provided direct, unparalleled access to our pregnant whales, researchers had no solid way of knowing whether or not a female in the wild was carrying a calf.
Well, that's a lot of questions. Believe it or not, we get them every day.
We sure do. Killer whales make a variety of different noises and vocalizations. Let's listen. Each type of killer whale, each pod, has their own dialect, their own unique set of calls. But don't forget, they use body language too.
Sometimes they blow bubbles, bump into each other, or scratch each other with their teeth, causing what are called rake marks. These are the multi-lined marks that you see on the skin of whales and dolphins. This is just one of the ways that these animals display dominance during social interactions, both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. So we've learned that the killer whales communicate by using vocalizations and body language. But how do we communicate with them? With signals. Here at SeaWorld, we communicate with our whales, and we want the next generation to be able to do the same.
All right, everybody, so the next part of the show is my favorite part. We have two very lucky volunteers who are going to meet Itaika and Keith. So over on our left-hand side, we have Catherine, and over on our right-hand side, we have Haley. Now the trainers are going to show them some signals to ask the whales, and it looks like Keith is waving hello to Haley. Very nicely done, Keith. And Ikaika is doing the same. Very nicely done. Now the next signal, it looks like Haley is going to spin in a circle. Let's see if Keith can get that signal right. Great job, Keith. And over on our left-hand side, Ikaika is going to give Catherine a nice big wave goodbye. Now, as a memory of you meeting Keith and Ikaika today, we'd like to give you this whale tail necklace. Thanks, everybody. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Wow, I think we got a couple of future trainers out there. They did a great job. Awesome. All right, let's take a look at another question. Who takes care of you, Shamroom? I love that question because it lets us give you a peek at how much we care for these extraordinary animals. Okay, Liz, are the trainers ready?
We sure are. The training you see actually allows us to take care of the killer whales. You'll see Andre is in the slide out here with Corky. He's asking her for a food present. Now this is one of the most important behaviors that we can train the killer whales because a veterinarian can come out and actually draw a blood sample right from the tail fluid. This makes sure that the whales are staying healthy. Now the slide out behavior that she's about to do, not only is it a great photo opportunity, but it's very important. The whales are trained to slide their whole body up and out of the water onto a scale. We track the whale's weight to make sure that they're staying healthy and ensure that the calves are growing properly. The high energy behaviors that you see, not only here at SeaWorld, but also in the wild, are important behaviors to help us ensure that the killer whales are maintaining healthy exercise. So if you focus your attention over to the right-hand side, Keith's going to be doing a small jump. And now focus your attention in the very center of the pool. Great job, Keith.
I know many of our guests also wonder, how much does a killer whale need to eat to stay healthy?
Just like us, each killer whale has different dietary needs. For example, Corky here is an adult female, and she eats about 160 pounds of fish each and every day. While Amaya, who is only 10 months old, gets most of her nutrition from her mother's milk. So she only eats 10 pounds of fish every day. It's important to know that the killer whales get all their food every day, no matter what they do.
Because we've been able to determine how much killer whales need to eat at various stages of their life, researchers in the field are able to use this information to determine if ocean habitats are healthy enough for populations of killer whales to thrive. And that type of information is invaluable.
Each whale's well-being is so important to us. We want to make sure that their minds are stimulated and enriched too. Now, if you focus your attention on the screens, you'll see that we have a variety of different toys for the killer whales. So they can have kelp, ice cubes, and you can see that big yellow buoy. These are all ways that we can play with the killer whales to make sure that they're stimulated and enriched throughout the day. We have over on our left-hand side, Vicky is just giving Ikaika a nice rub down on his melon. Now this is one way that she can build the relationship with him and play with him. You know, even with all of the toys and games that we provide, one of the best enrichments still seems to be social interaction with our other whales and our team of experienced trainers.
Okay, now a question for all the kids who want to know who would win if a killer whale squared off against a great white shark. All right, who thinks the great white shark would win? Raise your hand. All right, who thinks the killer whale would win? Raise your hand. Yeah, killer whales. You see, great white sharks hunt alone, while killer whales hunt with a pod of other killer whales. So it's not even really a competition. Killer whales have even been known to hunt for a blue whale. Do you know how big a blue whale is? At over 80 feet, it's the largest animal to ever exist on the planet. But killer whales are able to hunt for these huge animals because they coordinate, collaborate, and cooperate. They work together to overcome challenges much greater than themselves. You know, we can learn a lot from them on how to overcome some of the challenges our ocean faces. If we collaborate, like the killer whales, we can change the fate of the ocean and the world. All right, we got more questions coming in. These are some of the common ones we get all the time. Here we go. Why do some dorsal fins curve? Great question. Dorsal fins lack any skeletal structure, such as bone or cartilage, to support their height and weight. They're completely made up of connective tissue. The animal spends more time at the surface, the tissue may weaken, and the fin will bend. We occasionally see curved dorsal fins in the wild, like see in the photographs, and here at SeaWorld. Next question. How fast can they swim? Well, depending on their body weight, killer whales can swim up to 30 miles an hour. Check it out. Up next, how much water can their tails splash? Well, their tails, or flukes as they're called, are strong enough to fling a whole lot of water about halfway up these stands. Last one. If all the whales splash all at once, could they get the whole audience wet? Well, maybe not the whole audience. Refreshing. You know, killer whales are so inspiring. The more we learn about them, the more we see they represent more than just themselves. Truly, to better understand the killer whales is to better understand the ocean. Never stop wondering about the natural world around you. Be sure to visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com for your free download of the Killer Whales Up Close book and share it with your family and friends.
Thank you for coming, thank you for wondering, and thank you for caring. We hope to see everybody at our One Ocean show later on today. Thanks everybody, goodbye. Bye.